For today, we will cover about the covalent bondings. Okay, some part of another part of this chapter, and then as well as second bonds. Okay, so for the covalent bonds, we will discuss about the the geometry of the uh, the structure. Okay. And generally, for carbons, form 4 sp3 tetrahydrocovalent bonds, C atoms. This one sp3 usually tetrahedral, but actually is we can predict the geometry of the structure by using a valence shell's pair repulsion theory. Okay, if you learn in the because last times I teach quantum, right? So by using this theory, we actually can predict the geometry of the molecule. Okay, so valence shell electron. Okay, valence shell electron pair repulsion. Okay, so we cannot the geometry of the molecules. Actually, is depending on the bonding pair as well as a lone pair. Okay, so this theory is based on the repulsion electron pairs in the valence shell of the atoms. For example, like water. If water, okay, if you look at here, water, right? Okay, the water, if you look at here, is actually in general you can see as a linear geometry, right? But actually it's not linear because of uh, the axis of the lone pair for the oxygen. So the angle is going to be reduced, okay? Because the lone pair will push the bonding of the pair bondings, okay? It's not going to be linear, okay? You have to remember that. So by using the valence shell electron pair repulsion theory, so we can predict the geometry of the molecules. I'm not sure for this one is mostly for sp3. sp3 is more to type analysis, but there's many type of the geometry you can predict by using VSEPR. Okay. With minerals, okay, and then another molecules, okay, we predict such as linear, what else, tetrahedrals, okay, trigonals, octahedrals. That is the geometry of the molecule, the general geometry of the molecules. Generally, for the central of the atoms, okay, if you look at here, the central atom is going to be least electronegative. Okay, this one compared to this one. Okay, so if you want to determine in the precise methods, okay, the central atoms, we calculate the relative electronegativity, so you can know, okay, which one is more electronegativity. Okay, so generally for the lone pair and bond pair, if lone pair, okay, if you know, I think all of you know what is a lone pair as well as a bond pair, right? For examples, we have HCl, right? We have HCl, okay, HCl, okay. HCl, when the electrons, okay, H and Cl, this one is a bond pair, okay. This one is bond. For example, this one Cl, right? Okay. This one is lone pair because it's not sharing. Okay. So generally consists of two electrons in the same orbital from the same atom which are not involved in bondings. Okay, this one not involved in bondings, but involved in bondings to form uh, like gamma or sigma bond. Okay, this one is sigma bond. Okay, and no, this one is gamma bond. Is pi bond, not pi bond. Okay, this one is sigma. Okay, if pi bond generally like a double bond. Double bond is a pi bond. Okay, okay, one to sigma. Okay, and then generally there are three type of repulsion. Okay, bond pair with the lone pair. Okay, bond pair repulsion. Okay, lone pair repulsion. Okay, if you search from the internet, it's, I just explain in the general actually, not cover in the in this chapter. Okay, and the bond angle is going to be decreased due to the presence of a lone pair because of the push of the lone pair. So like a water, right? Water is not the geometry is not going to be linear. It's gonna be what is it? The geometry is gonna be more to angular, okay? Because of the presence of the lone pair, okay? So for example, this one in water, okay, they have two lone pair, okay? Since it's in water, okay, it's not gonna be linear, okay? Okay. So in term of generally, it's gonna be like this. This is the uh, the the electron. Okay, so it's gonna be angular here. This one. Mm. Shape is angular, not gonna be linear. Okay, so you have to remember that it's depending on the pair and bond pair. Okay, so I will show you the type of the sum table that. Okay, I'll show you. Okay, this is the general arrangement of various number of pair or the geometry. This one it is more to linear. And one is trigonoplanar. Okay. Tetrahedrals 109.5. Okay. Trigonals bipyramid octahedrals. Okay. So this is this one. Okay. So this is ABA. ABA. Okay. AB. Tetrahedral. Okay. Water is more to tetrahedrals or angular. Okay. It's not gonna be 180 80 degree the angles. Okay. You have to remember that. Okay. So about the geometry, okay, you can you can understand. Okay, so it's happening on the lone pair and bond pair. The sharing electron between two atom is a bond pair. Okay, while not sharing is lone pair. Okay, so the okay, hydrocarbon polymer, carbon tetrachloride, it remains. And this one is, if you look at here, the dipole moment actually is a dipole moment. Okay, later I will explain you what is a dipole moment. Okay, so carbon also form multiple bonds. Okay, by itself, double multiple bonds. Okay, are chemically more reactive. Okay, and then multiple carbon-carbon bond in carbon-coated metals are referred to unsaturated bonds. Look at here, this one is unsaturated. Okay, it's quite difficult to cleave this double bond and triple bonds. Okay, generally, is triple bonds have a shorter bond length as compared with the triple bond. Okay, this one ethylene and acetylene. We can compare. Okay, double bonding in benzene. Okay, look at here the arrange in the hexagonal rings. Okay, single and double bonds. Look at here. Actually, the real structure of the benzene is the resonance structure, is moving this double bond through the pi bond, but we can simplify in notation by using these symbols. Okay, this is the aromatic ring. Benzenes have low melting point and boiling points. Okay, very strong and difficult to break. Okay, the bond between molecules is weak and break easily. Okay, what else? Covalent network solid are brittle because the bond between the atoms are highly directional. Okay, this one you can read. The number of the neighbors cannot exceed 4. Okay, and then covalent solid and molecules are poor conductor of electricity both in solid and in water state because the electrons are tightly bonded in share pair. Ions are available for charge transport. Okay, so if you look at here, the most if you know the structure of lignin is a aromatic structure. Okay, lignin is the one of the composition in the biomass. Okay, biomass consists of cellulose, amylose, and lignin. So if you know that lignin is a, they have many aromatic structure. Okay, linked together. Okay, and then since lignin is a type of wood, so that's why they cannot conduct the electricity. Okay, even because is a part of the wood. Okay, wood cannot conduct electricity, right? So that means the lignin cannot conduct the electricity. Okay, you can search in the internet what is the structure of the lignin actually. Okay, there's many of aromatic structure in the lignin. This is the how you if you want to find Lignin. Okay, okay, this is one of the composition in the biomass. Okay, biomass like a wood. Okay, oil palm waste. Okay, so that is about the covalent bonds. Any question about the covalent bonds? Okay, before we move to the metallic bond. Okay, if there's no questions about the covalent bonds or the geometry, okay, we move to the metallic bond. Okay, so metallic bond usually is the properties is what is it, strong, difficult to break. Okay, malleable, ductile, like a stainless steel, right? Is malleable, ductile. Excellent conductors of the electricity and heat because the electron is a C electron, it can moving freely. Okay, and then these bonds are allow atoms to move because metals are ductiles. Okay, metal conductivity, which means electrons are free to move. This is what I say. Electrons are free to move. And then metallic bond is different from ionic and covalent bonds. Okay, there is no electron transfer. Okay, between atoms. Okay, metal have only 1 to 3 valence electrons. Okay, like ions. What else? Uh, Nickel. Atoms is a metal are closely packed in the crystal structure. This is what I told you. Okay, about the cloud of electrons or sea of electrons. It can move in freely. Okay. The atoms contributes their valence electron to form a sea of electrons. Okay, or electron charge cloud. And it can delocalize more freely among atoms. And then uh, if you look at here that attraction force between positive ion core, this one the green one, and negative electron cloud is referred to the metallic bonding. Okay, so between positive to negative, this is what we call it as a metallic bonding. Okay, and it is a three-dimensionally. Okay, no electrical neutrality restriction. Okay, no share localized electrons pair between atoms. Okay, and then electrons are mutually shared by many atoms or metallic bonds and directional. Okay, this is all the information about the metallic bondings. So the bond energy and melting points vary greatly depending on the number of valence electrons. Okay, fewer the number of valence electron, attraction force become positive on core and electron decrease, and electron cloud decrease. While increased number of valence electron increase, okay, percent of the covalent bondings. So we look at here that we compare, right? Okay, the bonding energy, okay, like calcium and potassium. Okay, this one have a increased number of valence. Okay, calcium have 4s2 and this one 4s1. Of course, calcium have a higher bonding energy and also melting point. Similarly, or if you compare with the germanium, okay, 377 bond energy, okay, and the melting point is higher. So increasing the valence electron is going to increase in the bonding energy as well as melting point. Okay, you have to remember that. So this one is type of the iron. Okay, potassium, calcium, Sc, titanium, nickel, cobalt. And this one is all uh, the uh, uh, the metal. Okay, for the metal in the fourth period metals in the periodic tables. Okay. Okay, if you look at here, this is the comparison. Okay, between alkali and alkaline earth metals. Okay. If you look at here that, as I told you, okay, the increasing the valence, okay, the valence electrons, okay, the melting point is higher. So mostly for the group 2A, okay, for the group 2A, the melting point is higher. Beryllium, magnesium, okay, strontium, barium, okay, as compared to lithium, okay, natrium as well as potassium and so on. Okay, so you have to remember that increasing the valence, the melting point and the bond energy is going to be increased. Okay. So what is the properties of the mm, material that have a metallic bond? Okay, what is the properties? Anyone? Maybe you can write in the chat box or in the Padlet if you want. Already share in the chat box. Can you write down what is the properties of the material that have a metallic bond? In terms of mechanical properties, okay, can you write down? Anyone? What is the material, the properties of material that have a metallic bond? Anyone? You can write in the chat box. Good conductor, yes, good conductor. Okay, pure metals are excellent conductor. Okay, electrically because metal have a free electron, yes. More malleable, yes. How about in terms of mechanical as well as thermal? High density, yes. Of course, shiny appearance in the padlet. Okay, yes, shiny. I think like a stainless steel, like shiny, rigid. How about in terms of thermal and also mechanical properties? Anyone? High melting point, yes. High melting point, I know. Okay, I want to know in terms of thermal as well as mechanical. Anyone? Ductile, yes, it's ductile. Okay, in terms of mechanical properties, it's the ductile. Okay, the ion in the actually the ions in the metal is can slip past each other with relative easy. Okay, in terms of thermal, is can. Okay, because the atom is closely packed between each other. Okay, okay. So the properties of the materials which have a metallic bond. Okay, you can read or what you have read in the chat box as well as in the Padlet. This one of mechanical properties respond electrochemical as good. Okay, thermal capacity. Okay, that's good. Okay, so ductility. Okay, just like a metal, right? So it can easily to slip. Okay, it's not like ceramic. Okay, because the ion easily to slip. So there's another type which is in generally we call it mixed bonding. Okay, if more it is involved more than one type of primary bondings like ionic and covalent. Okay, metallic and covalent bondings. Okay, if you look at here that the greater the electronegativity difference of the element involved in ionic and covalent mixed bonding. Here that we can calculate the electronegativity difference, right? So it's possible to have ionics and covalent bondings together. And the percent of ionic character is calculated by the Pauling equations. Okay, so I will show you later the equation of the Pauling's equation, as well as metallics and covalent mixed bonding. Okay, usually we can observe in the transition metals, the group 4A. Okay, like austinium, germanium, silicon. Some is a metallic character and pure metallic. Okay, so how to calculate the ionic character here? Ionic character we can calculate based on the electronegativity value, Xa and Xb, atom 1 and atom 2, or A and B. Okay, this one exponent divided by 4. So if your ionic character lie between this one 100%, if ionic character is 100%, is going to be ionic. Okay, and reduce into covalent. This is more to diamond. This one is ionic gas and complex salt. And then metallic is the ionic character is close to 0. Okay, like alloy, transition metal, deep semiconductor, liquid crystal, and graphite. This one is more to like this one is already mixed. This one is mixed. Okay, this one is mixture. Okay, so this one you can calculate. Just determine the electronegativity difference. Okay, and divide by 4, exponent 1 minus this value. So you can get the of the bonding. Okay, so this is the boundary range. Okay, already present this one. Okay, last class. Okay, if you look at here, polar covalence, mostly covalent, mostly are ionic, but can be mixed bonding if the ionic character is higher or electronegativity difference is higher. Okay, so you have to remember this one. Okay, any question about the primary bonds before we move to the secondary bond? Okay, so we already covered the ionic bonding, okay, covalent as well as metallic, and some additional for the mixed bonding. So how to determine the mixed bonding? You have to use Pauling equation. Okay, so this is what we covered. Okay, any more questions? No more questions? Okay, if no more questions, okay, we move to the secondary bonds. Okay, secondary bonds, as I told you in the previous class, is divided into two categories: fluctuating dipoles as well as permanent dipoles. Okay, so fluctuating dipoles is just like a van der Waals. Permanent dipoles is like a hydrogen bonding. Okay, in term uh, in details, what is the fluctuating dipole as well as permanent dipoles? Okay, let's see this one first, the fluctuating. Two types of secondary bonds between atoms or molecules involve electric dipoles. Okay, fluctuating dipole as well as permanent, also known as a van der Waals. Okay, so it's create an atom when positive and negative charge center exists. Okay, actually it's just like a touch. It's not really real bonding. Okay, electric dipoles interact with each other by the Coulombic force. Okay, these forces are electrical in nature like ionic bonding but much weaker. Okay, if you look at here, this on the left side is the negative charge and the right side is the positive charge. Okay, and we can calculate the dipole moment. Okay, so when we calculate the dipole moments, either it's toward the the negative charge or the positive charge or towards the neutral. Okay, but generally we will discuss in terms of the towards the negative as a no dipole moment. Okay. Let's see for this one is the interaction. Generally we can see for the noble gas like hydrogen gas with the hydrogen gas or argon with the argon. You can can form fluctuating dipoles. Okay, so it's a very weak attraction force developed between complete atoms. Okay, especially for the noble gas. Okay, it can be asymmetrical as well as symmetrical. Okay, look at here. This one on the left side. This is a symmetrical distribution of electron charge, no dipoles. But asymmetricals, they have temporary dipoles. Okay, so weak interatomic non-direction or non-directional bonds. Okay, so actually it's changed with the times. Okay, it can move to the right side or the left side. Okay, so for example, this one liquefaction of noble gas at high pressure and solidification at low temperature. Okay, due to the fluctuating dipoles. Okay, strength of the bond increase with the increased size of the noble gas atoms. Okay, for example, this one hydrogen H2, this one H2. So it can attract each other. So can form the fluctuating dipole bond between two noble gas atoms. So weak secondary bonds also form between symmetrically covalently bonding molecules S2 and S2P6. Okay, for example, H2, Cl2, CH4. Okay, and then even in a symmetrical molecules at any instance, there will be a temporary random inequality in electron distribution in the molecules. Okay, so like this one, right? Positive and the negative. So they can form a fluctuating dipole, Cl2, Cl2. So we can form the fluctuating dipoles. This is the example. Okay, this one is argon. Okay, and argon. Okay, so that can form. This one is positive and this one negative. Okay, so they can form when the walls bond. Okay, another example is you liquefy the hydrogen. Okay, they can form secondary bonding fluctuating dipole between hydrogen gas and hydrogen gas. Okay, so you have to remember this example, especially for the noble gas. Yeah, that one is for the fluctuating dipoles or non-permanent bondings. Okay, how about the permanent dipoles? Okay, the most familiar example is the hydrogen bonding. Okay, that is permanent. Okay, generally for the polymer, okay, they have hydrogen bondings for groups like 7A, 7 and 8. Okay, 7, 8, amine, okay, oxygen, okay, as well as fluorine. They can form a hydrogen bonding, okay, with the hydrogen. Okay. Okay. So permanent dipoles, polar covalent bonds refer to the unequal sharing of the valence electron between bonded atoms. Okay. Caused by the different electronegativity, okay, resulting in the polar bond which can give rise in the permanent dipoles occur in a heteroatomic molecules. Okay, for example, X refer as a leaving group for or oxygen, uh, Fn, okay, with the hydrogen. Okay, so that permanent dipoles create due to the permanent equals unequal electron charge. Okay, and then CH3Cl has a permanent dipole, CH4 and CCl4 are symmetrically. Okay. Uh, if you look at here, weak bonding force are created when molecules interact with each other. Okay, due to the Coulombic attractions. Okay, and then important in the bonding of polar covalent bonds, molecules such as water and various hydrocarbons. If you look at here, that this one CH4, right? This one is about the dipole moment. Okay, dipole moment is the two charge equal in the magnitude and opposite sign. Okay, separated by the distance. Okay, for example, this one CH4 they have no dipole moment. Okay, because this one is positive, 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 positive. So your arrow toward this direction. There is a no dipole moment. Okay, no dipole moment. Okay. But in case of CHCl3, If you look at here, this one is carbon, right? So your arrow is toward this direction. Hydrogen and carbon is more electronegativity. But for Cl is more electronegativity toward the direction. That's why there is a net dipole moment 1.2. Okay, 1.92 dip. D is the symbol of our dip. What is it? Or in SI unit is a coulometer. Okay, dip. This one. Or coulombic meter. Coulomb per meter. This one is SI unit, cm. Okay. Okay, another one is no dipole moment. If you look at here, is in case of Cl4. Okay, this one is no dipole moment. Okay, have no dipole moment because all is stretched. Okay, the arrow is stretched. This one is no dipole moment. So it's going to be 0. Okay, and this is asymmetric. This is asymmetric. This one asymmetric. This one non-asymmetric or asymmetrical. That's why they have a net dipole moment. So you have to remember that. Okay. It's another type of the special case for the permanent dipole bonds. Okay, that form between a polar molecule containing hydrogen. For examples, OH and NH interact with the electronegativity of O and F or Cl. This one is a symmetrical arrangement. Okay, of H atoms, angle 105. Look at here of the hydrogen. Okay, 105. Respect to the O atom, hydrogen bonding between water molecules. Look at here, there is a hydrogen bonding. Okay, so we have to remember between water molecules they have a bonding. Okay, of polymer. Okay, PVC. Okay, what else? Cellulose. Cellulose, another type of composition in the biomass. Okay, just like cellulose, hemicellulose, lignin. Cellulose is more is a glucose unit. You can search in the website what is the glucose unit. I think all of you know what is the glucose. When there's a glucose unit, okay, all the monomers become polymer. Okay, we call it as cellulose. Okay, between cellulose molecule also they have the hydrogen bondings. It's very strong, just like this one, the hydrogen bonding. Okay, just like this one, therefore. Okay, okay. So another type is a PVC, dipole-dipole interaction. Okay, Cl is more than C. Okay, this is what we call as a permanent dipoles. Okay, dipole is hydrogen bonding. Okay, so for the polymer, okay, polymer containing amide, NH or carbonyl group can form hydrogen bonds. So you have to remember that PVC have a dipole-dipole bonding between Cl atom in C double bond Cl groups. Okay, and the hydrogen atom in the HC group because they have a Cl, right? Cl and H they can form hydrogen bonding. Ethylene also, okay, symmetrically has a no dipole moment, but force between PE can arise from the weak van der Waals force. Okay, so that is a fluctuating dipole as well as a permanent dipoles. Okay, so I hope you can differentiate between the non-permanent as well as permanent bonding for the secondary bonds. Okay, as a summary, from this chapter, actually, bonding and the metals. Okay, so this is the tetrahedron of the structure of the bonding and as well as the material types. Okay, there's the ionic materials, covalent bondings. Okay, metallics they have molecular materials, secondary bonds. This one is mostly this one is what is it? Primary bondings, right? Okay, and molecular materials is a tetrahedrons. Okay. There are actually related to each other. Example of the bondings: metal is metallic, okay, ceramic, covalent and ionics, polymer, covalent and secondary, okay, semiconductor, covalent and covalent ionics. So they are actually can form or mix at the primary and primary, okay, ionic and covalence, or primary with the covalence, primary with the secondary bonding. It's possible in the materials, okay, for the structure. Okay, so compound ion and also, as well as molecules, there are two fundamental types of compounds. Okay, ionic compounds composed of positively and negatively charged ion housed together by columns uh, of force. Okay, refer to the ionic bonds. Okay. What else? Molecule compounds are composed of molecules which are group of atoms joined together by pair of shared electrons. Okay, this all about the ionics. Okay, and then ions stack themselves in the crystals. Okay, such as positive ion are surrounded by negative ion and vice versa. Okay, this is the summary of the compound ion and the molecules. Okay. So bond energy and melting temperature for various substances is depending on uh, the bond types. Okay, generally for the ionics, bondings have a high bond energy. Okay, compared to covalents. Okay, and covalents have a high bonding energy compared to metallics. Okay, and for the primary bonds, the bonding energy is much greater than secondary bonds, such as van der Waals as well as hydrogen. So if you look at here, okay, this one is primary bonds, okay, and this one is the van der Waals, okay, and the bond energy is much lower as compared to the primary bonds. So you have to remember, since for the secondary bond is a uh, fluctuating as well as uh, the bonding is not really a primary. Okay, that's why we call it a secondary. It's just at the creep during the liquefaction or form between the molecules. Okay, it's not the really primary. Okay, it's not really a primary bonding, just like the ionic or covalent. There's a no sharing electrons or transfer of electrons between the atoms. Okay, that's why the bond energy is very as compared with the primary. Okay, that's the summary for all the for all bondings. Okay, atomic structure and the bondings. Do you have any questions about this one, primary as well as secondary bonds?
I have a question, Doctor,
Yes.
about the symmetrical and asymmetrical. What is that,
Mhm.
Doctor?
Asymmetrical. Symmetrical is for example, symmetry is this one, right? For example, dipole moment is symmetry. Symmetrical dipole moment. This one is symmetry, right? Or the arrow is true direction to tetrahedral. This is symmetry. This one is non-symmetry, asymmetrical, because mostly to this direction. It's stretched toward this direction. It's stretched toward this direction. Okay. This one is non-symmetrical because it's stretched toward this direction. But this one is here stretched. This one stretched symmetrically. Okay. That means equally stretched. Okay. This one we call it symmetrical. This one also symmetrical because it's stretched towards the central of atom. This one's symmetrical. Right. Okay. This
Thank you,
one,
Doctor.
the movement is not same direction. Okay. This one, the movement is not equal. The movement of the arrow, the negative charge. Okay. That's why we call it asymmetrical. But this one is the movement of the not the movement actually. Okay. The direction. Okay. Okay, like this one, right? Like not diamond, square, right? This one is symmetrical. Okay, toward this one, repulsion and attraction force is symmetrical if they are in equilibrium. This one is symmetrical. Okay, not symmetrical if the one okay toward this direction. This one is asymmetrical. Okay, toward this direction, toward the direction. And this one is non-symmetrical. Okay, because it's just towards one direction. This one is all directions going. You go to the all four direction. Okay, generally in the geometry in the tetrahedral, and the tetrahedrals, they have a symmetrical or asymmetrical the geometry. Okay, this one like this one is the negative charge is in the right. Okay, same equally distribute equally. This one is symmetrical. This one distribute non-equally, right? Toward to the left. This one asymmetrical. Okay, so they can form possibly can form structurally dipole between molecules, especially for the number case. This is what we call asymmetrical or symmetrical. Okay, it's 1 hour. I think it's quite fast because our target is to finish this chapter for this week. Actually, it's beyond beyond the schedule. This one is just a week 3, right? But we already finished chapter 1, 2, 3. Okay, but it's okay because it's very short chapter actually. Okay. Any question about this one? So if you have no questions, I think for next week we will cover. Let's see, chapter 3. What is this about chapter 3? I think it's quite more to. I think. Let's see. I forgot. I don't remember this one on the chapter 3. Yeah, I think it's about the crystal structure. Let me see. Okay, here we discuss. Okay, for the previous assignment, all of you already submit, right? Okay, I hope all of you already submit together with the quiz. Okay, you already done the quiz. Okay, yes. So for the next chapter, I will upload in the e-learnings today just after finish this class. Okay, so we will cover this. Okay, crystal structure and metal and ceramics. Please read this one. Okay, we will look at the structure. Okay, what type of the unit cells? What is the unit cells? Okay, as well as what is the coordinate number, how to calculate the atomic packing factor. This is important, mostly on the calculation, and we're gonna do the tutorials together. Okay, for this part. Read this one. I think this is one of the core part of this subject. How determines the direction as well as the Miller indices. This one is really important. Okay, I'm going to upload after finishing this, and please read this one. Okay, so we will discuss by next week. Even this one is a very short chapter actually. Material engineering is really short chapter. All the short. Okay, any questions? If you have no questions, okay, please scan this QR code. We just finished within 1 hour. Okay, where is the QR code for the attendance? We finish. If you have no class, okay, we end our class today. If you have no question, any question, please do not forget to scan the QR code. Okay. I think it's quite easy. This chapter, previous chapter and this chapter, right? Okay. So if you have no questions, we end our class today, and then we will discuss chapter 3 about the crystal structure, crystal and ceramic structure next week. So please read this one. Okay. I forgot to upload the ebook, right? So I will upload after the ebook. Okay. So that's all. Thank you, guys.